Greetings humans, this is Aramis from Archill Archives, and today we're gonna try out these new paints. Now normally I use my Paul Rubens that my brother bought me, but I kind of feel bad using them because they're more expensive because the conversion rate is not nice. So and it's mostly light fast. So I've been feeling kind of bad using it in my sketchbook when I really want to make some more finished pieces with it. And I don't want to use them out just in sketches. So I was ordering something for my mother and I put this in the cart. It was on sale for $9.99. It's now $19.99, so I got it at a really good deal. And yeah, I'm gonna try these out. Hopefully these will become my new sketching watercolors. So the first thing we're going to do is make a swatch sheet on this piece of paper, a swatch card, so that I can put it with all the rest, and then I will be painting this drawing with the four main characters of a Zalin, and we're gonna see how the paints work. I could do a blending test and all of that, but like for instance the Superior Watercolors, which I don't like, and also known as Meeden, and the Winsor & Newton brush pan set, they appeared to be good on paper, but when I actually started using them, they were not fun to use. So that's why I'm not just going to comment on it in swatches, and I want to test them out in a drawing, like how I plan to use them. So let's get going and time lapse. Okay, so this is voiceover Aramis, and I'm watching the video and I have the finished piece right here as I'm recording this. Now the paints themselves wet pretty easily, and honestly I prefer the color selection in the Paul Rubens, but because this is a 24 set, you can get any color you want if you know how to mix the ones you have. So the colors selection wise, it's not really a problem. Also I made a mistake and I really should have cut the paper before I started swatching because I used up too much of the paper, which means I'm gonna have to make a whole new swatch card, which isn't a problem, it's fine. And as for the brush had a long hair that kept messing up, you might see it. I multiplied the speed by 4, so I'm not sure if you would, but there was a hair that kept bothering me. But I wanted to use the brush that came with the set and not one of my own, even though for a period of time you do see me using another one. That was when the brush really started to annoy me. It doesn't annoy me anymore because I just clipped off the stray hairs after that, but I didn't want to get up while I was doing this, and I wanted to use it right out of the pan. Right out of the box. So, okay. This was a first reaction, and then I'm going to do, like, after I've done more paintings with it. So, getting the colors I wanted was a little hard at first because I wasn't sure how these paints worked. Also, the paper that I'm using is mixed media paper, not watercolor paper, because I did say that this is supposed to be a sketchbook set. So I plan to use it in a sketchbook. The colors themselves are a bit they're not as vibrant as the Paul Rubens ones, which is to be expected. The Paul Rubens is more expensive. Also, I really want to start using lighter, brighter colors. My mother pointed out that all my characters have dark blue. And it's not all, but it's the ones she knows. So that's one of the reasons why you see me change Raven's colors to green. I'm still working out the exact shades of green that I want, or if it's going to be green and blue, but her new main color is green. We'll see how that works out. When they go over the lines, you could see like a bit of chalkiness, but when I rub my finger over it, the paint doesn't come off. So there's that. Oh, back to the paper. this Lightech mixed media sketchbook, the paper, it dries really fast. So watercolors dry very fast on this, so you have to work fast, and that's fine. I like it because, I like the fact that it dries fast because it's a sketchbook. I'm just doing quick paintings, I'm just coloring in sketches, so that's not really a big deal. But these paints dry even faster. When you just wet the pans and you put it on the paper, it feels fine. But when you start using them in a sketch, then you start noticing how dry the paints are. They dry so fast, even on the pans. In the Paul Rubens, when I have and even in the Winsor Newton, when I have mixed paints, I have to leave it on the desk for hours to wait until it's dry. This one dried in minutes. It was kind of weird. Probably because it has more of a chalky texture. It was also kind of hard to get the colors flat. So the Paul Rubens, because this paper dries so fast, it's always going to be hard to get it to get flat colors. This paper does not handle water when you put water, to use the wet on wet technique, because it dries fast, and it also kind of warps a bit. It's mixed media paper, not watercolor, so I like the paper in general for a sketchbook. And I did not enjoy the paints the first time I used it, so I think I'm gonna try it out for a bit longer, do a few more painting sessions, maybe try to not go for colors as dark as this, and see if I can get it to work lighter. The more experience I get with art supplies has convinced me that the quality of the art supply is less important than your skill in art. So you see a lot of great artists, they use cheap supplies and it works out fine. And the more I get used to art supplies, it's just a matter of figuring out how this works and trying to work with it instead of against it. I'm going to leave you with the rest of this time lapse, and then I'll come back and give you my final opinions. Enjoy.
They said, don't fall, don't forget all the things you've been taught, you've been told. Don't blink, don't run, don't turn left or turn right or look straight at the sun. My mind's going in circles, I'm trying to fight it. Getting these voices inside to stay quiet. Gone to the place where all this began. Just start again. Oh, you won't see the light until the dawn breaks. No, till it's all said and done, you won't know what it takes. Gotta make a wrong turn and turn around. Gotta fall fast to pick yourself up off the ground. Until you get lost, you'll never be found, and you can't start again until you break down. Break down. Until you break down. They said, be meek. Look beneath the bed before you go to sleep. Keep on, I shine. You'll surely get burned if you reach out and touch. My mind is a battle, I'm trying to hide it. Getting these voices inside to stay quiet. Gone to the place where all this began. Just start again. You won't see the light until the dawn breaks. No, till it's all said and done, you won't know what it takes. Gotta make a wrong turn and turn around. Gotta fall first to pick yourself up off
few days later and I've played around with the paint some more. This is the one I finished, and after that I did this picture of Corbin. Then I did this. Yes, I did draw and ink drawings and didn't paint them, but I did this one as well. This is when I started experimenting with much lighter colors, and you can see that it's a lot smoother and flatter. And the final one I did was this spread with the main cast, and honestly this doesn't look bad. So what do I think about these paints overall? If you're looking for semi-professional watercolors to get started with, I wouldn't recommend this. That's this brand. Now you see, I wanted a cheap set of paints to use light colors with in my sketchbook. So for that, it's perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. But if I was a beginner and I was using these paints and I was seeing how... and I felt how difficult it was to use, how streaky these darker colors look, I would think it was my skill. But as I said earlier, the quality of the watercolors, the skill of your art matters more than that. Also the paper is very, very important. This is mixed media paper, so take everything with a grain of salt. This came out looking good because by this point I had understood exactly what these paints were capable of doing, and I really like how this painting came out. If you want a cheap set of watercolors just to use in your sketchbook and you want some convenience colors like black and gray, then yes. If you don't want, like if you want to practice with mixing colors, then I would recommend that you get the Winsor & Newton. Hold on, let me get it. So I would recommend you get either this set. It has 2 reds, 2 blues, 2 yellows, and then some more convenient colors that you could mix, but it's just nice to have, especially when you're doing mixing a lot of grays, like this burnt sienna with the ultramarine. I used up all, and so these 3 pans are actually from the brush set. I took out the pans from those. So greens, a yellow ochre, burnt umber. I wish this was either a grey or a purple because I use a lot of grey. But this set has everything you need to get started learning how to mix colors, because these 6 primary colors do give you everything you need. There was no color that I couldn't mix from this set. But if you want to go a bit more expensive, then of course I'm gonna recommend my beloved Paul Rubens. I'm not really sure how I feel about the color selection in the 12 set, but this 24 set has enough colors to give you the convenience colors you want, and for you to be able to mix whatever colors you want. And the paints are very pigmented, so I've done a lot of painting with these, and there's still a lot of paint left. So that's my recommendations. If you see this for $10 and you want a sketchbook watercolor paint set, or maybe for a kid, this is fine. If not, then I'd recommend one of these two. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll be posting more videos, art videos. I'm going to start posting more writing videos because these are characters from a series, and this is the main character from book 1 in that series. These two people, the main characters in that. This is actually book 5 characters that I'm drawing. So I plan to talk more about this entire series as a whole, my outlining, writing, editing, and also on my other writing projects, because I'm currently working on finishing up my Andata series that's available on Amazon links in the description. It's one of my mini series, and I have a lot of books, so check them out if you want. And follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to get better with the social media thing. I'm an old person. And I'll see you in another video. Later.